So Inscription was low-key one of my favorite professions in the war within to make gold with, and in Midnight it's looking to be absolutely insane as well. Join me for today's profession overview for Inscription in Midnight WoW based on the Midnight Alpha. Keep in mind this is an early alpha build and a super early look at Inscription in Midnight WoW, so things are very much subject to change. I also want to say you can currently get the Midnight WoW gold making guide on my Gumroad page as an early purchase. That means you can be part of the beta testing, the alpha testing, get key and valuable information from the alpha testing and beta testing, and get all of the preparations you want to do before Midnight out of the way before Midnight comes out. You can get information plus investments advice for Midnight WoW, player housing, you name it. You will get the information you need to get as early as possible to be as ready as you can be both for player housing and for Midnight WoW. So you can check it out by the way through the link down below. The guide is already 30 pages long and that is based on alpha testing for 2 days. Now the guide itself will keep getting updated throughout the alpha testing and the beta testing stage, and you will get every single update sent to you for free. You will also get the full version of the guide before Midnight comes out, sent to you for free as well, so you're basically buying the guide before the guide is out. Think of it like pre-purchasing the guide, but you're also getting investments advice and information based on alpha testing and beta testing, which you can use to make millions of gold in Midnight WoW. I helped people make tens of millions of gold, and a couple even messaged me telling me they made over 100 million gold in the first 3 months of the war within, thanks to my gold making guide, the early access to videos, and the exclusive access to videos we had back then. This time around, we know a lot more about how to make gold in this expansion. So if you want my help to make a lot of gold in Midnight WoW, and if you want to get rich in Midnight, check it out through the link down below. Check out the gold making guide on Gumroad, the link is in the pinned comment. I also stream my alpha testing live on kick.com, which you can also find link down below in the pinned comment, and literally create a Kick account, it's free. Follow me on Kick and join the alpha testing. Either way, let's talk about Inscription in Midnight. Alright, let's do a quick overview of what Inscription looks like then on the Midnight Alpha as well. We did just look at this really briefly, but let's just take a look at it together and talk a little bit about Inscription at the moment. So first of all, we have a bunch of placeholder icons I'm betting on the Alpha right now, like Codified Azurite. We have Codified Greenwood in the war within, right? The exact same logo, and I mean Soul Cipher, same logo. Sienna Ink, same logo. Mooncell Ink, same logo. Obvious placeholders, but Darkmoon cards are here. They're back, they're still here, whatever you want to call it. We also have something called Darkmoon Dominion. Not exactly sure what that is, but it looks to be a trinket, and the way it looks is like it seems to be maybe an upgraded version of the Darkmoon trinkets. I'm not completely sure. But you can basically turn a Darkmoon trinket into Darkmoon Dominion. So that's kinda cool. You also have the regular Darkmoon sigils that we had in the past as well, so making Darkmoon sigils, and you can see here the reagents required, but I'm betting it will also require the card. We saw that happen in the war within, it did require the card itself to make the sigil, so I'm betting that's gonna come back as well. Apart from that, making a bunch of epic items, also making contracts is going to be a big way to make gold in Midnight as well as the war within, and for anybody who remembers, missives was an absolute gold mine. While a lot of people focus on contracts, which was good, missives ended up being the absolute gold mine for making gold through Inscription, especially at the start. Later in the expansion, it kind of fell down a little bit, but simply identifying the best in slot stats for people and crafting those missives on the highest quality produced so much gold. People were making over 100,000 gold profit per contract. Like, just let that sink in. Over 100,000 gold profit every single contract. And you could make like 3 contracts with max concentration every 3 days. So you're printing like 100k gold per day through contracts, which is kind of insane by default. Here we also have some professional stats once again, and I personally believe these, by the way, could be insane at the start of the expansion. Sure, crafted gear as well will be insane, but whenever I'm, for example, setting up my blacksmiths, I want to have multi-crafting on the tool, and when I'm setting up my enchanters, I want to have ingenuity on that tool. So you want to be able to specify the stat you get on the tool, and people will pay for these missives as well. So for example, focusing on multicraft, perception, resourcefulness, ingenuity, finesse, whatever the best stats are, focusing on those for missives could be a great way to print gold as well. Overall though, currently on the alpha, Inscription looks very much like the Inscription we're used to in the War Within, with a couple of changes, but for the most part, not a lot. It is worth noting, it's really early alpha, so anything could change just about at any point. The one thing that I want to point out is that while we know that Darkmoon cards are coming back, and we have something called Darkmoon Dominion this time, we're not exactly sure how these Darkmoon cards drop, because in the current specialization build for Darkmoon Curiosity, there's nothing about Darkmoon cards dropping here. This is only focused on crafting Darkmoon cards, and also crafting Darkmoon sigils and crafting Darkmoon dominions. There is nothing about finding out how Darkmoon cards are dropping. Now, if you go over to, for example, all the way up here to Inscribing Blood, this is probably making the card itself, or at least Inscribe Blood, which to me looks like you're making the card. And over here, clicking on the reagent, you can see that it requires this, Thalassian Essence of the Fair, a boisterous mote of energy used by scribes to craft various Darkmoon oddities, can be bought and sold on the auction house. Then the question becomes, how do we get this item? And also, will this right here, what if you get this item right here as a rare reagent from simply milling herbs, and this makes a card, but it doesn't make the trinket. But you can like specify what card you want to make. So here you can make blood cards, here you make hunt cards, here you make rot cards, and here you make void cards. And that way there's still some RNG elements in the game, but also you're deciding which cards to make. And the reason why I bring this up is if you go down to, is it here? Yeah, like if you go down here to transcribe blood, here you see there are cards. So this one right here, if you're inscribing blood, if you're making the trinket itself, you have to use the cards. Because the cards are in the game, they have been data mined, they're already here. We have Ace of Hunt all the way through 8 of Hunt, and the same thing goes for Void, Ace of Void, until 8 of Void as well. So you already have the cards are in the game and will be part of it somehow. So what I'm thinking is that you will somehow find this material and use this to craft cards. So a little bit of RNG, but once again you decide which card you want to make. Now we did just look really briefly at the Darkmoon Curiosity talent tree, or profession talent tree, but I want to go a little bit deeper. So first of all, you have the main tree right here. This one will give you skill points when crafting Darkmoon sigils and dominions, and just give you general benefits when crafting anything that has to do with Darkmoon sigils. Over here you can then choose to either go into Rot, you can go into Blood, you can go into Hunt, and you can go into Void. Even more like diving deep in that as well, you can go into sigils or dominions. So over here it's all about identifying which card will be used by the most amount of people and speccing into that one. I personally have my eyes set on Blood for now, but once again, this is based on early alpha. So for me, I would probably go here, max this one out, max this one out as well, and then go for either sigil or dominion, or potentially even both. If you just go for one though, that is only 60 knowledge points you need to spend, so like 20, 20, and then 20. And now you can make sigils at basically the max capacity, but also you can start using other things as well. If you go over to Calm Hands, I think it is, like Calm Hands, this one benefits everything. So you have 10 points in the Calm Hands now. This one used to be way more, it's only 10 now. Then you have 20 points over here, 20 points here, and 20 points here. Now all of these also benefits your craft for Darkmoon sigils. So you would have to spend 60 points here, so like 20, 20, and 20, 60 points. Then go into Calm Hands and spend 10, 20, 20, 20, 130 points in total, and now you have a sigil crafting character ready to spend concentration and print gold. It is worth noting that these right here, by the way, like these 70 knowledge points, you will want to have for just about everything you're crafting, especially this right here for ingenuity, and this one for resourcefulness. For multicraft, if you're focusing on crafting gear, multicraft does not matter at all, but for anything else where multicraft matters, you want to have this one, but for crafting gear you don't need this one at all, but the other three you definitely want to have at any point. Now early in the expansion you might just want to max this one out, by the way, because here you learn to craft a Thalassian, Treatise or Treatise on Inscription and learn a subspec of your choice. Now learning to craft these will be important for multiple reasons. Number one, you give yourself a knowledge points, and number two, a lot of your crafting orders, NPC crafting orders, they will be based on these treaties. So being able to make this one just allows you to craft more NPC crafting orders, and also when you max this one out, which once again is only 10 points now, you will get 1 more knowledge points when reading the treatise yourself. So here you can get 2 knowledge points per week by spending 10 knowledge points. So in 5 weeks you have broken even, and then you just skyrocket. Aside from those 2 talent trees, we also have Perfected Product, which is basically focusing on milling and also processing. As you can see here, you have Perfected Product, then you have Processing, then you have Parchment. In Processing, we have Perfected Ciphers, Perfect Milling, and Perfect Inks. So you can learn to both do milling, you can do inks, and also you can do ciphers. Early in the expansion, you might not have enough knowledge points to do all of them, so you might, for example, want to set up one character for milling, and so like 30 points, 30 points, and 30 points. Then you might want to set up one more character for turning the pigments into inks, so 30, 30, and 30, and then you might want to have a third character for turning that as well into ciphers. So doing a full shuffle of 3 characters for the same craft. And the reason for that is that once again you'll be capped on knowledge points, but also you will need 90 knowledge points for this tree alone. And then you have to think about, for ciphers, you want to have all of these knowledge points as well. So that's 90 plus 70, 160 knowledge points you want to have simply for making ciphers alone. You're not gonna have that much knowledge points early, so anybody who has, for example, 3 or even just 2 but potentially 3 scribes set up to be able to mill on 1, craft inks on 1, and ciphers on 1, you can print gold. Like a lot of gold by doing that as well, and it's something that not a lot of people will do, so once again, think outside the box and you will get rich. Either way, on the other side we have Parchment, and over here you can make Vantis runes, you can do contract, and you can do missives. Like I just said earlier in this video right here, or the recording, whatever, you can do contracts early, make a lot of gold, but usually this right here tends to be quite competitive. Meanwhile, missives tends to be less competitive and sometimes way more profitable, so keep an eye out for missives as well. One more thing you can do for scribes is to simply make a gear. So over here we have something called blueprints, subject to change, and this one is focusing on field research, so staves, bows, codexes, and on the right side you have chef's rolling pin, alchemist mixing tools, and the scribe's quill, also known as market research or regular profession equipment. So you can do like this one right here, 30 points here, 30 points here, 60 points benefiting all profession equipment, and then you have to focus on either cooking, scribes, or like rolling pin, mixing rods, alchemy, cooking, or scribes. You have to choose one of them, and just hard focus. Either way, for the most part, Inscription is very much the same as it was in the War Within, especially from the early Midnight Alpha point of view.